Welcome to my channel where we will be creating videos for DIY projects that I wish I had before starting the project. So first thing we have to do is just use a knife or a box cutter and cut through the caulking in the drywall paper so that way it will be a lot cleaner when we pull off the baseboard. So how I'm doing this is I started with banging this in a few spots and then banging this in a few spots. And so now it's definitely coming off the wall. So I'm just gonna work at this to slowly peel it off. So it's not the easiest thing, and I'm realizing that I didn't cut deep enough because when I'm prying it up, I can see the wall is still sticking to it in most places. So I'm just kind of using a flathead screwdriver and this tool to kind of make my way across the wall, cutting more as I go, and it's stretching. Doing my best to not ruin the baseboard, and I can tell that there's nails, which is making it difficult. So since there's nails screwed in at the bottom here, I used this bigger one to straddle that screw and pull it off the wall. So I think I've got it now. So I got the baseboard off the wall, and on this end, they're not cut at a 45-degree angle. This end, it went all the way to the wall, and then on the other side, it stopped in front of the other one. So I was able to get the other side out and then just pull it out. There were a few screws that were still left in the wall on this side, and I was able to either get them out or nail them flat. And there were a lot of screws left in the baseboard, but I was able to get them just by twisting them a little, getting them loose, and pulling them out. So the next step is to cut back the baseboard where the Billy bookcases will be. So I wanted to test it out with just a little corner here. So I used this like cast cutter, I think is what it actually is, and I was able to cut it until like the bottom because the ground is there, and that's why it just ripped on the bottom. But I feel like I could do it again, just using the knife a little and finessing it some more. So I'm gonna go ahead and measure out how far it needs to be and do the cut. Measured the 11 inches of the Billy bookcases and use this to draw a straight line. So now I will cut it and see how it goes. And really important, I realized when I was taking off this piece, the paint and everything was coming up with it. So unfortunately it kind of ruined it here, but this part doesn't matter because I'll be cutting it off. So I'm gonna make sure I really cut good along this and then even a little into this because I can easily cover up my cut, but it's gonna be not as good as the paint comes up with it. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut well into here. Okay, time for the moment of truth. I'm going to try to take this off as carefully as I can and hope that this will come off clean cut. Okay, and I don't want this to come up at all, so I'm going to kind of push against it with my foot here. Oh, it's coming up a lot. Oh gosh. Here it comes. Okay, so looks like I didn't cut it through as deep as I could have. That's why it was hard to get that off. But I think this turned out fine. I can easily caulk that and paint it. And this I will just cut more of so that try to get all of this off to the wall. So it's not perfect on the bottom there, but I just used the knife to get the rest of that bottom part. So I'll go do this on the other side of the wall. So this side was a lot better now that I had some practice, and I also did it like 11.5 inches because the baseboard, I know one, it goes all the way to the wall, and then the other side stops at the baseboard. So I made this one longer so the baseboard can fit to the wall. And then on the other side, it should line up and hit the baseboard.